Welcome back to AV Veterans Talk. We're continuing our conversation with this week's guest, TV Hall. Hey, we're back here with TV Hall, and
sounds like a song to a rock song, doesn't it?
TV
Back with TV Hall.
Major TV. I remember we had some kind of a shtick we were doing and stuff with the whole Major TV.
Major
the channel you'd never want to watch or something, something like that. But it was always good.
Major overhaul, yeah.
Major overhaul, yeah. There was always that.
Major breakdown, you know. But that drew on my rail backgrounds, of which I have none.
Yeah. So my question is, so were you working in the mountain?
Oh, yeah.
NORAD?
Oh, yeah.
So you'd go through that big giant
I
metal
go through
door.
that tunnel. And the nice thing about that tunnel, so the great thing about that tunnel is if you came out after midnight, and we frequently did because we'd have time blocks like midnight to 4, because you want to keep those computers busy, you want to keep developing going.
Yeah.
As you were walking out, you could stomp your feet real loud, and there was this corrugated pipe, that you could drive through. Mm-hmm. It was like the last 200 feet of the tunnel. Mm-hmm. And it made a very special echo. When you stomp your foot, the echo would come back like a phaser fire on Star Trek.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So we go down the hallway and scream, "Fire, phasers!" and stomp our feet. Of course, we were lieutenants and young and stupid.
Yeah, this is America's finest and stuff. I'm driving young people away from military service.
No, you're not. I had a lot of fun there, in spite of the reputation.
Yeah. So you would go in there and you'd track space junk.
No, I wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't track.
I was testing
you
my
were testing
software.
software that you were designing.
That I designed because they gave me certain parameters, and I worked on it for X amount of time, and eventually you turn it over to configuration control, and then the universe ends.
Yeah.
And it finally gets to configuration control, and it's time to transfer you somewhere else.
Yeah. And so where did you end up going from there?
Hey, the rest is history. The rest is history. They transferred me to Edwards Air Force Base to be a part of the Air Launch Cruise Missile Test Team, where we, by the way, bombed Lompoc twice.
Nice. Well, you had
100% success rate.
Yeah.
We were evaluating embedded computer resources in the Air Launch Cruise Missile program. And we did test on both versions. There was the 86 and 109, I believe. Not PT 109, but AG 109.
Yeah.
And, crashed in Lompoc. Maybe it was related.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Never know.
You never know. So eventually wrote up test reports on those two missiles, and it went to source selection. Source selection chose the Boeing product. By the way, the Navy chose the other product because it was shaped like a torpedo and could be put in torpedo tubes to be launched.
Yeah.
And then I spent the rest of that assignment evaluating the new one. Oh, by the way, during that period of time, I met and married my wife, and we've now been married 35 years, 3 lovely children, blah, blah, 4. It depends on how you count.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Yeah. It's all good. So, and then, so Edwards Air Force Base, you rose to the rank of major. How many years did you put in
no.
No.
I became a captain while I was on active duty at Edwards. I was sent down to Space Division. Well, actually, I politicked and got into Space Division, begged to get to Space Division to maintain my capital here in the Valley.
Right.
So I went down there, and I was started out as software guy again, computer resources and the computer on board software, and then ultimately I ended up being the director of engineering. Spacecraft engineering for the government, which meant I sat in my office and made lieutenants fill out contract paperwork, blah, blah, blah. Right. But about every 2 or 3 years, for me it was 3 or 4 times, I got to go something called early orbit, where you've got a bunch of technical experts in a room and you can only see the satellite for a certain period of time, every hour and a half, and you assess how well it's doing, and you test things while it's on orbit, and then it goes out of sight again. You plan the next pass. So that was exciting. It was like I got my little piece of space that I always wanted since I was about 12.
Right.
So anyway, I did that. I did that 4 times on active duty. I forget why it was so many times, and I did it once as a reservist, as the test director for the whole thing going on. Worked my way up in that. So it was pretty much a crowning jewel to my whole career. Shortly after that, I was passed over for the second time for major, and I was forced separation. Joined the reserves. Spent 10 years being a lying, cheating, stealing, scum-sucking, maggot-infested government contractor.
Yeah.
And then did 15 years teaching secondary school in mathematics. So that's it. Now I'm retired. My life consists almost entirely of going out and playing my harmonica with various bands around town and babysitting with my wife, my 2 grandchildren living in town. Yeah. So that's me, and life is good.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about, I'm just curious, Matt. Let's back up here a little bit.
Okay.
Obviously, in the world you were at, the clearances that you would have to be, there and stuff has to go up to the highest of all classifications for what you were doing. Correct?
No, I was never exposed to anything above secret.
Secret?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing.
Well,
because it seems like.
What does your satellite do?
Yeah.
My satellite goes around the Earth.
Well, no, it's
wait,
actually,
let me finish.
Yeah,
I'm on a tear.
I hope.
Goes around the Earth, and the Earth rotates under it.
Yeah.
And it takes pictures of the cloud cover. We know where the clouds are at all times.
Yeah. Well,
that was our mission.
That was
now,
your mission?
Why was that our mission? That's the classified part.
Yeah, okay. We're not going to ask about it.
You're not going to ask
that. I'm not going to answer that.
And there isn't enough money on the table yet. So.
I know. So anyway, we're going to take our next break here. We'll come back. I would talk a little bit about that after military a little bit, because you and I and stuff, we kind of continued on a journey together when we met stuff. So we'll be right back here with TV Hall. I'm Bob Alvis, and thanks for joining us for this segment of AV Veterans Talk.